Big up, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in to Anfield Road TV. It's the Merseyside derby on Saturday, early kickoff. I'm joined by my very good long-time friends and good friends of the channel, Jake. Thank you very much for coming on, mate.
Happy days, Adam, made up to be on, as always.
Yeah, obviously, for the regulars on the channel, me and Jake done a video a very long time ago. Probably one of my most successful videos anyway, so hopefully this can be. But yeah, Jake, it doesn't get any bigger than this, done it, especially in Liverpool, mate. Obviously the Merseyside derby. It's gonna be an exciting atmosphere. It is always the case, isn't it, mate?
Well, yeah, obviously, having Frank Lampard in as our manager, he's probably one of the only managers since Moyes who has ignited the fans back together, brought the love of the club back. It's been a bit of a hard couple of years. Obviously, last year we had Rafa, fan bases on the deck, and like the unity of the fan base now is just absolutely incredible. You was at Brentford last week, and you got Brentford fans and Brentford radio presenters saying what an atmosphere they bring home and away. So I'm really excited about the derby, and the atmosphere is going to be absolutely incredible. Goodison Road's going to be ram-packed before the game.
Yeah. Oh, spot on there, mate. What's Lampard done in reality in terms of galvanising, obviously bringing, as you said, Rafa, and obviously the years prior, it's been quite disjointed at Everton Football Club. What's been the main factor for that, mate? Obviously, it was the back end of last season, the crowd, and obviously the football club had to band together because the results weren't frankly good enough. But
No.
you did survive. What do you think? What's been the main reason why there's been this more togetherness? What's Lampard done?
I just think Lampard just gets the club. He gets what the fans want, and what we want is hard working Everton players who are going to fight for the shirt. And you know what? That's what we seen in the back end of last year. They weren't pretty results, but we got the results we needed to stay up. And that's because each and every one of them players are drilled into their head that they need to fight to stay up. And just the start of this year, as a bit, what's going to happen here? We haven't really got a striker. Calvert-Lewin's like a Poppadom at the minute, keeps getting injured. Yeah. And like, I just had mixed emotions at the very beginning. But with the recruitment we've had this year, like we've gone 4 games unbeaten. We haven't won unbeaten, which means we are good at defending at the moment.
Yeah, 100%, mate. 100%. As you said there, mate, of the results, obviously, a loss to Chelsea on the opening game of the season. Very unlucky. Chelsea were quite poor that day as well. In reality, obviously, a loss to Villa, a draw to Nottingham Forest. But massive factor, and probably ask you in a little second, mate. But Gordon, he's kept hold of him this window. There was a lot of talk of him potentially leaving the football club. It's a massive that was pivotal for, especially for more or less Everton to survive, really, especially to keep a player of that quality. The great goal against Leeds United. But what's your thoughts on obviously keeping Anthony Gordon? How important do you think he'll be this season?
Well, obviously, he's been at the club since he was a very young age. He's a massive Everton fan. He's homegrown. He's English. You know, I always want the young players, homegrown players, to do well for the club. I always have done, always believed in it. And I always believe that we should always give the younger ones a chance. And, he came in last year. He did a good job, got a couple of assists, worked his absolute backside off after time. And he was one of the reasons why we stayed up. But when Chelsea were coming in with crazy offers like 60 million, 65 million, I was like, all right then.
I was going to say, yeah.
Cash in, because that could have changed our season. But on the other hand, he stayed. He gets the club. He's not going anywhere. And this might actually turn out to be the better option. Because, we are still looking for a striker. But he's proven the past couple of games that he can actually put the ball back in the net. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, no, spot on there, mate. And we good mate and friends of the channel, Rob. Anyone who subscribers, he's a Liverpool fan. Check his tweet. So there we go, Rob. Just saying about Gordon. Saying that, I was saying this to Jake a couple of weeks ago. Anyway, if you look back on not just Liverpool but Everton, it's literally roles reversed, in it, Jake. And we all take the mickey, especially on Merseyside. So you'll find Carragher in an Everton kit. You'll probably find Gerrard in an Everton kit.
Definitely want to Gerrard out there in an Everton kit.
Yeah, definitely. But as you said, mate, the figures in which this window was brought up for not just Everton, really, mate, but around European football. I think we all know the Premier League teams, most importantly, have got the most amount of money. But as you said, it'll be interesting. I doubt, obviously, Chelsea will come in back again. But as you said, he's staying at the football club for now. But if Chelsea want to come in for another crazy amount of money, but he's one of your star assets, really. And I think if you were to sell him down the road, but it's what that would generate as well, Jake, in it, and especially with the financials at Everton Football Club at the minute. You know, as a fan base, that you can't go out and buy all these big name players. It's about building. Are you in a catch-22? Are you a bit 50-50? What's the feeling with you and the lads when you go to game? And that is it a case of you understand the situation Everton are in now, and obviously a signing like Idrissa Gana Gueye for 8 million, it's not necessarily big names, but you're hoping that Lampard can get the odd one or two players and try and build his ideal vision for Everton going forward.
To be fair, obviously, us as a fan base, we understand the situation. Obviously, when we did have Usmanov on board with Mashiri, obviously, because of the situation in Russia and with the Ukraine invasion, that kind of money's kind of gone. We were in financial fair play. So hence why we had to sell the Charlton to balance the books. So we knew anyway that we couldn't spend big. But what I am happy about is we spent clever this year. We got Gana Gueye for 8 million, who said to PSG, if I leave France, the only club I want to go to is Everton. We've got Onana, who chose Everton over West Ham. We've got Ruben Vinagre. We've got
Connor Cody is Connor Cody. How's his partnership at the back been with Tarkowski? I know it's early days, but have you seen from the games you've watched? Is it a massive step forward? Especially because we all watched Hughes last season. A lot of Liverpool fans, there's neutrals, and be like that. Some of the defending last year, and you go to the games home and away, mates, and it was absolutely atrocious, wasn't it, at times?
But to be fair, obviously, going back to what I was on to a minute ago, like Connor Cody and James Tarkowski, we got them for pretty much nothing. And they're two captains from two teams. And like Connor Cody's always played in a back five at Wolves. We most of the time play in the back five, but we played in a back four the other day and he was spot on. And I think having two leaders like that, just on the pitch and in the dressing room, can just really bring out the best of other players. And that's what we've missed. We've missed leaders on the pitch for about 2 years. And I'm just we've now got players who want to play for Everton.
Yeah, 100%, mate. You spot on. We spoke about Gordon, obviously, in terms of the centre halves as well. How's Robert Patterson? Obviously replacing Nathan Patterson. Connor Patterson. He's a Twilight fella, isn't he? Christ. Nathan Patterson. I've done a couple of Everton watch-alongs this season anyway. Obviously, I've got, we do and chat now. We do quite a lot of Premier League watch-alongs, but I've been quite impressed, really, mate. Obviously, in terms of Everton with Seamus Coleman, he probably should have left Everton about 4 seasons ago before his legs went anyway. But how's he integrated into this Everton system? He's still a young lad, and for me, he's been looking quite promising for you.
Well, to be fair, Seamus Coleman's been an absolute beast for us. He's served us very well. Obviously, he's played his ass out for the club, but we have needed someone to fill in for a long time. And I'm glad we waited, to be fair, because Nathan Patterson is just like a breath of fresh air. His stats over the past couple of games have been ridiculous. He loves getting forward. He's solid at the back. And I actually can't wait to see him have Diaz in his back pocket on the weekend.
Oh, there we go. Towards the start of the round one. That's it. Well, we've been saying chat, haven't we? And you probably what you said to me a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, the Everton fans were loving it, and quite rightly so, because it was madness, and you were sending me messages and that. But yeah, I'm gonna stick a couple of bob on Nunes to get sent off, because I swear to God, if he gets, there's one atmosphere, as we all know from a Liverpool fan, mate. Goodison Park, as you said, Jake, it's gonna be absolutely bouncing in it.
Yeah, I'm gutted. Like, obviously, for different reasons, I can't be there. And the first derby, I actually can't be there. Like, I've been for like pretty much most of them in my lifetime.
Yeah, got a season ticket, haven't you? You've literally gone for every game. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a cauldron of atmosphere anyway, and quite rightly so. So we spoke. How do you feel Lampard will approach this game? It's going to be a lot of emotions, and I've been speaking to chat as well over the last couple of weeks. Liverpool have started quite badly, and we all know that. And similar with the Manchester United game, there's two games, the Everton game and Manchester United, the two games where, regardless of how both teams are playing and how good both teams are playing, what you're going to get is a fierce atmosphere. And how do you feel Everton will cope with Liverpool in terms of, do you identify Liverpool's, what do you look at Liverpool's weaknesses to be in our team? I know a lot of people do say Liverpool's right-hand side, but do you think Everton have got the players to very much harm Liverpool?
To be honest, and I'm always honest, I can be bitter, but I'm honest.
Yeah.
In the midfield is where you're quite weak at the moment. I'm sure you would agree. You've got some injuries in there. You've got Milner, who's 30, whatever he is now.
He's about 50 at the minute.
I think if we get anywhere in this game, it's going to be in the midfield. But the way Lampard's going to approach it is the way he approached it last time. Pretty much the same as what everyone does against Liverpool. Just try and keep his out for as much as possible, and just try and get his on the break. We haven't really got the legs up front. So I reckon he may go with Gordon up top, potentially, and then bring that Neil Maupay on. I could be wrong, but I think we will probably defend a bit. We will have to defend a bit. And I just think we just have to try and get his on the attack and just try and sneak a goal or two. Whatever. But I don't think it's going to be an easy game for anyone, if I'm honest. I don't think it's going to be easy for Liverpool. I don't think it's going to be easy for Everton. And to be fair, I'm not even going to say anyone's going to win. Obviously, I'd love us to win. I'd love it. Absolutely be over the moon if we won. Because that'll just bring our confidence right up. But I actually think it's going to be a bit of a battle, and it'll be probably just more than likely end in a draw, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, mate. I'm wanting a battle, but you probably watched that as a neutral, the Liverpool obviously United game a couple of weeks ago, and that's something that Liverpool massively lacked. We lacked that battle. We rocked up to Old Trafford and got absolutely battered by that poor Manchester United team, and it is poor, and you can probably agree, and a lot of people will. We should that, but at the end of the day, as you said there, mate, Everton will battle. The crowd will 100% get on the back of those Everton players. If it's not, you know yourself, mate, it's going to be not that the crowd will filter onto the pitch, and as it always is the case, one of the most cauldron of atmospheres. I'd say it's a toxic atmosphere, but it helps.
This could potentially be one of the last derbies at Goodison.
Yeah, I was going to say, when's your new stadium meant to be getting finished?
It's 2023-24. So that's like near enough next season or back end of next season. But obviously, looking at last year, obviously we don't want to repeat of that. But derbies at Goodison are absolutely amazing, and don't really want it to be the last one.
Yeah, hopefully when a new stadium opens, that we can give you your first defeat. Because First derby win at the brand new stadium. But get to everyone's comments as well. If you've got any questions that you want to ask, obviously Jake, he's very knowledgeable. He watches every single Everton game anyway. Season ticket holder, goes home and away as well. So, got any questions in terms of obviously his insight for the Ev and hopefully where Liverpool can hopefully expose this Everton side? I'll ask you for your starting 11 in a little second, mate, before we get to obviously in terms of the results. Sorry, Dale, I was just looking at the results. Obviously, Liverpool went to Goodison 4-1. It was a bit of a mad game, that wasn't it, mate, last year? Obviously, we scored early on, and then you scored just before half-time, didn't you?
Last year, we kind of expected to get a good iron, to be fair.
Yeah.
That was the game where I think Rafa should have gone. But for some reason, we kept hold of him until like January, and it was too late by then. And we just about stayed up. But yeah, to be fair, the results have been quite, I wouldn't say quite close. We had a few draws. I think we drew at Anfield last year.
I'm pretty sure, hasn't there? Didn't Rafa have a better record than Lampard this season? Probably has.
I think so. Yeah.
Look at that smile. Look at that smile. I think he had technically. I think Rafa had 5 games into the Premier League. I think he had much more points, but as he said,
yeah. Well, we did, but then that quickly went down the Swanee, didn't it?
Then it went down. That's what they're mildly anyway. But let's get to everyone's comments as well. Downfield Lark, wonder who flopped in this window. Scrabbling for the last minute loan says it all. Just hope Arthur can come in and do the job. He's as good as good pedigree anyway. 100% there, mate. And been on a couple of shows today, mate. And we've spoke over the last couple of weeks, haven't we, in relation to in terms of what you're going to get in the loan, either in the loan market or in terms of obviously the transfer fees as well, mate. We'll get to everyone's comments as well. How are we doing, Ravi, as well? Yeah, Ravi, obviously a good mate of mine, JB, as well. He's absolutely smashing it at the minute, which is fantastic. One would start Núñez. Liverpool need the goals and points. Really, Gary? That's a question I'll ask you, chat, as well. I'll ask Jake this in a little second. For me, I'd start with Núñez. Jake, do you foresee, you'd love, and I think the Everton crowd would love to Liverpool to start with Núñez, wouldn't he? And if he did,
I'd love Núñez to start because he's never been to Goodison. I'm pretty sure he knows what the atmosphere is going to be like. Because that you'll hear it in the dressing room for the game. The fans are going to torment him. You got Cody there, you got Tarkowski there.
You should wind him up perfectly, wouldn't you?
Wind him up on purpose because obviously what happened with
last week, a couple of weeks ago.
So yeah, I'd love Núñez to start. But on the other hand, I know he's a goal scorer. So kind of wouldn't want to start.
Yeah. It works both ways, isn't it, mate? And I'll say to you before we go on here, I've got a sneak feeling that if he did start, he'd get sent off. And he's an absolute. I love the lad. I think we all do, but he seems like
Guine, isn't
he? He's quite a character.
Nature, isn't he? That's just what you're Guine do, isn't it?
Yeah, absolute nutter, mate. But he's our nutter. Bit like he used when he used to watch Duncan Ferguson. Certain players have got it after that attitude, and I think as fans, would you say, Jake, do you like that type of player? Someone that can obviously Richie's probably a prime example, isn't he? He winds up opposition fans and obviously players, but
like you kind of want that because I think there's certain teams who, well, especially Everton over the years, we have had that. We've had we've had Fellaini in the past. We had. He was a massive one.
You could probably go for the whole Everton team there, like all of them.
We have had some people, who are just like winding up just to get in people's heads, and because that can change a game. The minute you get into someone's head, that either go one or two ways, they either just flop and the game's gone for them, or they act upon it, and it'll just make the game a lot better.
Yeah, spot on there, mate. But as Denver Alax said, I hope Dev can get some form after this defeat. Others might disagree, but I want 2 Scouts teams in the Prem. Yeah, it's what it does. I know if you look on Twitter, there's some of the rubbish, horrible stuff you do see, and you get it with not just both sets of teams. You get it with every fan base. If you go looking, it's some of the disgusting. And I know Jake, and I know he just wound me up a couple of times, but Liverpool is a city, and given what's happened, obviously over recent weeks, in terms of the tragedies within the city, I think both clubs and yes, right, put rivalry aside, Liverpool as a city as a whole were very strong, and we've shown that over the last 20, 30 years. Obviously with Reece Jones as well on the side, and obviously it was just his recent anniversary, Jake, won it a couple of weeks ago anyway.
It happened on the day, didn't it?
Yeah, so
to the day it happened.
Yeah, which is absolutely disgusting, and obviously thoughts go to Olivia and her family and everyone affected in the city, and it's not been absolutely tragic, and we've just got to stand together as Liverpool people do know how to do. Whatever adversity, we stay together, regardless red or blue. We all, football aside, but we all love one another, and that's how it always will be as well. But it's just don't listen to the absolute muppets online that take it a bit too far. But yeah, as I said, you do get that, and it's absolutely wrong anyway. But me and Jake, we wind each other up, and it's how it is and how it should be supporting football teams. But obviously, when it goes over the edge, that's obviously that's I don't class them as football fans anyway. I don't think Jake would either. But in terms of the way both teams are playing, and 0-0 draw is written all over it as well. Yeah.
Well, that's what I said before. Yeah. I'm probably looking at a draw from Saturday.
Yeah, the way obviously read Shane's one. Nice one for that comment, mate. My opinion, Nunez won't be in the starting lineup, Gary. Obviously, Phil, I'd agree with you there, Phil. I do and Luke, all right, the firm. Tell you what, I'm rubbing off on him, especially the Scouse language anyway. Jake, a couple of the lads. Smash the like button anyway. Manuel, thank you very much for that, mate. Appreciate your support as always. And by the looks of it, not a lot of people have got their notifications, which is quite sad. YouTube, do your job. Come on. Everton Football Club. Love Rafa, of course you do, Luke. Of course you do. Rafa, bloody hell, Manuel. Rafa was Everton Football Club's best manager. I think we can all agree. But yeah, I've muted me telly every time Everton win a corner. Bloody hell, you love it, Rob. You love it. How do you feel? Well, yeah, the flares will be out, especially if we get it there. Another Sadio Mane-esque. I'll take a 96-minute winner, would you, Jake?
96-minute win? Yeah, I would see her.
No, but Jay, how do you foresee Lampard approaching this game from a tactical sense, mate? As you just said there, the whole mark in recent, especially this season already, Liverpool have found it quite frustrating in certain games. Obviously, the Palace game, obviously the way they wound us up and wound Nunez up, really. But from your perspective, how do you foresee Everton coming to Goodison and approaching this game against Jürgen and the boys?
It'll just be very tough for both teams. I don't think anyone's going to roll over, to be fair. We've been, obviously, we've had 4 games now unbeaten. We haven't won, but we're unbeaten. We have really sharpened up in our defence, which is what we've needed for about 2 years. So I think it'll be hard for Liverpool to break us down. But I think we're going to be having a lot of Liverpool on top of us. And just hope that we just fly out on the attack and maybe pinch a goal or maybe score from the corner. I don't think it's going to be like a 4-5-0 or a. Do you know what I mean? It's just not going to be easy for any team. It's going to be, I think, a will end in a draw, to be fair.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolute scrap in it, mate. And obviously, Gary saying RIP to Olivia. Thoughts from everyone on the channel as well. Evan goes, look, Manuel's loving it. He's loving it. He's loving it. Nunez scored the winner off the bench. I'd love that, mate. Starting 11, Jake, from your perspective, has Lampard been playing? What I was watching that. I was watching the Leeds game recently. And obviously what's the situation with Everton's forward line? Who's going to be leading the line? Will Morpie be in, or is he fit? Or
I'd love to have an out-and-out striker start, but back end of last season, he didn't. That Mope didn't really play much due to injury with Brighton. He hasn't started any games this season.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure what his fitness is like. But Gordon's been putting the ball on the back of the net lately. I think we're going to need pace up top. But I do really want to see an out-and-out striker. To be fair, I think defensively, because of injuries to Ben Godfrey, Mason Holgate, I think you start with Pickford. We have to do a back five against Liverpool.
Do you reckon you'll go back five? Yeah.
Yeah. How that looks, I think the only way to do it, to be fair, is obviously Patterson, Cody, Michael Keane, Tarkowski, Michalenko. I'd love to see Garner Gay start, but maybe not. But Onana, Iwobi's just different gravy lately.
What's situation with him? Been speaking to you and Ryan this week or the last couple of weeks. Is he been playing in a central midfield or like a more deeper midfield role?
He's been a bit like a box to box. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I slated him. To be fair, I was one of them who said, "Pack his bags, get him out of the club," and I did. To be fair, a lot of people around me stuck by him and said, "Oh, he'll become good." And you know what? I vet my own words, and I'm made up. He's proved me wrong. I like players who prove me wrong, because I am one of them. I do give stick to players who aren't pulling a weight. But when you turn your career around the way Iwobi has, he's like a monster in that midfield. Doesn't stop running. His passing range is a lot better. He's just become. He's like a new signing to what Lampard's done with him, and it's great to see.
It's obviously Lampard being probably one of the best midfield generational talents in England over the last 25 years anyway, mate. But yeah, so the DMs, so would you go with potentially Garner, or do you think he won't be fit?
I'd love to see him start, to be fair. Like I'm just made up we got him back, to be honest. But I don't think he will be in the mix straight away. I think he'll be on the bench. But obviously, Damari Gray's been playing okay. He's been getting some shots on and goal. He's been playing well, to be fair. He's just a bit inconsistent sometimes. We just need a bit more consistency from him.
Yeah, no, spot on there, mate. So who's in your forward line then? McNeil, Gray, and Gordon. Are you anticipating Gray to play through the middle, or Gordon through the middle?
Well, against Leeds, he had Gray through the middle and Gordon out wide, but they kept swapping over. So it weren't always the same person down the middle, which is good to see because it keeps defenders thinking. I'd probably have Gordon down the middle, Gray out wide, and then McNeil. McNeil has been good defending lately. His stats for getting back, getting challenged in is good. I'd like to see him do a bit more in attacking, to be fair. We know he's got a wand over left foot. He scored some worldies for Burnley. He's got some great assists for Burnley. Obviously, on his debut in the friendly against that Dynamo Kiev, had a blinder, come off the bench, assist and 2 goals. So I'd like him to do a bit more in the final third.
Yeah, no, spot on there, mate. Guess with Rob's comments, got a good question for you there, mate. In relation to obviously Liverpool's new sign, and Jake, was it true Everton turned down Arthur last month? Did you see any rumours with that, or?
That's it might be true, might not. Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Obviously, Liverpool do need more midfield. So no, I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably some of the waffle you do hear it on Twitter anyway. Anyone can create a YouTube or a Twitter account anyway. Arthur Mello is class. Can't wait. Yeah, but I was gonna say hopefully will have their own wind up merchant. More pie. He hasn't played for it. Is he in? As you said, Jake, before, is he injured currently, or is he?
No, he isn't injured.
More pie. Oh, isn't
he? No, he has been training with us. I just don't think he's up to scratch with his match fitness. He'll definitely come on. I think he'll come on. Probably give us 20 minutes when the defence of Liverpool's tired, and just see what happens. But I want someone up top who's just going to put the body about, cause headaches, and just like that Neil Mopai. He's done it for Burnley, not Burnley, Brighton.
Brighton, yeah.
He's just top shit housery, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? So it'll be good to see him.
Yeah, spot on, mate. And obviously, spot on with Manuel. Fax was world class, but nowhere near. Of course, he was Manuel. Gerrard all day. All the quotes of everyone, even Kaka, the great Kaka, when he won the Ballon d'Or and everything. Every coach in world football. But yeah, Gerrard all day. But as everyone around us, didn't win the Premier League. That doesn't mean that he wasn't a bad footballer. Jack, do you think Carvalho deserves a chance to start? 100% there, Philip. And Jack, let me know your starting 11s, Jake. Just give us his predicted starting 11 for the Ev. Get your starting 11s in the chat, everyone. I'm gonna go with Ali in goal. There's no way he drops Trent. Yeah, you can't drop Trent. Even though he played quite bad and Milner, you got to play Trent.
I think Gomez going forward's dangerous. He always is. He's got a toss on him. He's got a shot on him. But lately, I think you would agree with me. Defending, he's been a bit all over the shop.
Yeah, I think he's been quite, as you mentioned, mate, Liverpool being quite exposed, especially with our midfield issues. I think it heavily relies on a midfield that would cover Trent going forward, as you said, mate. Well, yeah, I go with Trent, Gomez, Van Dijk, Costas. I'd like to see come in. We've been saying this every single time. Saying that we're saying give Robbo a rest, but he doesn't need a rest. The man's like bloody. It's typical. He must be getting fed like on a drip of like iron brew or something, whatever they give him. Andy Robbo, but Andy, I'd like to see Costas play left back. Fabinho, Elliott. Yeah, you know what, Phil? I'll put Carvalho as well. Both in the in the 8 role anyway. Double eight role, and then go Diaz, Nunes. Well, no, go Diaz, Firmino, and Salah as well. Score prediction, Jake?
I reckon it's got a draw written all over it. I'll say 1-1.
Yeah, 1-1. It's going to be a scrappy one as well, mate. And we've not been, as I said, we've been absolutely.
It's just everything.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be a draw, and it'll be something stupid like 90+7 again. Where
hopefully you don't time waste.
Hopefully it's on the other way down, like.
What did you think about that as a neutral watching that game? Do you think, obviously, that was?
I might upset a few fans here, like.
Oh, there we go. But for you, I bet when you've played Newcastle, you've played a top team. Time wasting, and obviously that's man in a match that fella attached himself to the post last season against Newcastle.
I've always said. The game 90 minutes. Whatever's added on in the end, whether it's +5, +6, you waste time. That's your, and it's as simple as that. If it's 90+5, it's 90+5. The whistle goes after 5 minutes, and it'll stop all this aggro of the referees adding time on, Fergie time, clock time. It'll swerve all that. It's 5 minutes. It's done and dusted.
Yeah, Newcastle could have done with someone attaching themselves to the post, didn't he?
To be fair, that offside to that Isak, it's a bit questionable.
Oh yeah, like, very close.
VAR are very, very inconsistent. You either use it and make sure it works, or jib it off, because like, I thought this year the new rule was to give it an advantage to the attackers.
Yeah.
And I thought stuff like that would go for people. And obviously, it's been that Marcus Rashford was onside against Hughes. But then,
Hughes had it.
Against Hughes wasn't, and I just don't really get it.
Well, Hughes had the biggest one last season. Imagine if Hughes went down against City.
We had one against Leeds, the Mardi Gray.
What happened to that one?
Well, he was just caught offside, but it weren't offside. blatantly weren't.
Very marginal. Yeah.
And I think it was pretty much it's a goal, isn't it? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's a win. It could have been half 3 points.
Yeah, thank God. Joke that. Klopp will probably play, as Brian said, Fabinho, Milner, and Elliott. Yeah, I think we need Milner, as Jake said, the cauldron of atmosphere at Goodison, which it will. And especially if Liverpool don't, especially if we do play poor, at least Milner will be bossing everyone about and telling everyone where to go anyway. Time wasters Newcastle, yes. Oh, chat as well. If you don't follow me on TikTok, Jake, well, go on my TikTok, everyone, when you get time tonight. I've had some lovely messages off Newcastle fans. I woke up to some lovely messages. They were rattled. The whole Newcastle fan base were rattled in the comments. It was like, it's almost like Newcastle were the only team to have time wasting football history. So, but we won. As Gary said, 3-1 to the Reds. Obviously, Liverpool. Manuel's gone with 3-1 to Liverpool win, guys. You never walk alone. Spot on there, Manuel. We'd love that, mate, as we said. But Philip's gone with his starting 11. Chat, if you are watching this on the repeat, get your starting 11 in. Get your score prediction as well. But Philip's went with Ali. Costas playing left back. Gomez, Van Dijk, Trent right back. Fabinho, Elliott, Hendo. I think Hendo's out injured, Philip, isn't he? Yeah, Hendo's injured. Diaz, Carvalho. Well, the whole of our, don't get me started on it. Would be here all night, mate. About our midfielders. Diaz, Carvalho, and Salah is my starting lineup. Yeah, Philip. I don't know if you see it, Philip, but Hendo is injured, mate. Again, as Jake's just said, he's got all of our players, especially our midfield players, have got hamstring, cheese strings, or whatever you want to call it. And yes, if you've been living under a rock, chat as well, you've all seen the news. Liverpool have more or less agreed to sign Arthur Melo, Arthur, obviously from Juventus, other season-long loan. It's good. It's bodies. I'm not going to sit here and say I know anything about him, but I had a little look at his data points and everything, and he looks like a Jurgen Klopp player. Is good pass accuracy, someone that can carry the ball, someone that can press the ball as well. So, and obviously people are saying his injury record was due to him, not a footballing injury. It was obviously hit down to him being in a car crash. Luckily he was okay, but he did require surgery on that with that anyway. But Jake, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. Thank you very much for coming on, mate. But yeah, thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for coming on, mate. And enjoy the rest of the season and best of luck, mate, as always. And thank you once again for coming on, mate.
Nice.
But absolute legends. I was going to say Jake doesn't have YouTube. No. Not yet. Yeah, but yeah, I was going to say shout out your socials, but nah, sad. But thank you very much for coming on, mate. Appreciate it. Chat. If there's any Liverpool fans, look after yourselves as well. As I said, we are the City United. Obviously, over the last couple of weeks as well, with the other sad news. But hopefully, we'll just see a good game of football. There's going to be a lot of argy-bargy on the football pitch. It's a derby. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
And Jake, final question. Do you reckon Nunez will stay on the pitch?
If he gets on the pitch. No name. Yeah, I think he'll stay on the pitch. I think Klopp would have had a word. And I don't think you'll see him told like that. Yeah.
Yeah. You messaging me at halftime going, told you, lad. But yeah, big up chat as well, most importantly. Thank you to every single one of you. As Endo was injured. Oh yeah, spot on there for fine. Cheers, matey. Nice one, Alan. Thank you to every single one of you that do continue to obviously tune into all the episodes as well, everyone. Obviously, big up Dave as well. Oh, Manuel, we'd love that, mate. We'd absolutely love that. But big up, thank you. Really do appreciate every single one of you to tune in. Jake for coming on as well. And as we said, Red's going to be a feisty atmosphere. Early kickoff. And hopefully a wake up. Jake, I'm just finding one as well. Are you a fan of 12 early kickoffs? You're not, are you? I don't think any football fan is.
Honest. Like, football, I prefer them 3 o'clocks or 5:30 because it gives you time to get a couple of bevies down.
What about an 8 p.m? Are you a fan of the 8 p.m s?
Not on a weekend, no. Like there is a couple in the season where it's like 8 o'clock on a Saturday. It's just stupid. 8 o'clock
Yeah.
midweek sound, not on a weekend.
Yeah, spot on there, la. No. You're not used to playing midweek on
Like,
at 8 p.m., are you?
Obviously Liverpool have, yeah, but obviously
Champions League. Yeah.
like Liverpool only played yesterday, and you
Yeah.
got a game Saturday. Do you know what I mean? So you've
Yeah.
had less rest time than we have. So R12 is a bit of a dodgy time. I know Klopp hates the R12s. He doesn't shut up moaning about the R12s.
Here we go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Klopp has been he's been a bit moany, and quite rightly. I think all top managers do that, but I think everyone just thinks it's Jurgen Klopp. But I think that suits us, mate, though, as well. Just closing thoughts as well, chat. I think we play our best football, when we there's I don't know if do you play your best football when it's a bit more closer in? Yeah, you might pick up a bit more injuries, mate. But I think I've noticed a lot of chat as well.
I think any team plays a bit better when fixtures are closer to each other because you've got that kind of consistency of playing.
Yeah.
Like if you play, for instance, on a Monday night and you haven't got a game till next Saturday, it's a long time not playing in the football world. You know what I mean? So if you're playing regularly, it's consistency there for you, isn't it?
Yeah, spot on, mate. Phillips going 2-1 with the Reds. Nunes coming off the bench to score. Oh, imagine this. He's trying to get his. He'd be on the yellow, and then he takes his top off and everything, and then gets sent off that way. Well, yeah, nice fun for that, mate. Obviously, Manuel. Thank you to every single one that is tuned in. If you are watching or listening on podcast form as well, have a lovely rest of your Thursday night. Obviously, there will be a episode out tomorrow, just reevaluating the transfer business Liverpool have done, and obviously our starting 11 predictor show as well. So stay tuned on the channel. Jake, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. Thank you for coming on, mate, as well. Chat, look after yourselves, have a quality night, and hopefully do see a cracker of a game on Saturday and not a bloody draw, please. We'll see you later, everyone.